Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Ifeni. Great Malabite, good morning.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Rufai.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Adesuwa Amora, queen of the screen.
Queen of
Edo
Kingdom.
Good morning, Mr. Ifeni.
Adesuwa, where are artifacts?
Role model for young Edo girls.
Thank you.
And also a very good example of Unilag.
Thank you so
When
much.
some are confessing and reconfessing in police custody.
Ifeni, are you now promoting Unilag?
No. Adesuwa is a role model.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you.
Now, let's start the review of this day. Nigeria's newspaper of records. The lead story, PDP asked Supreme Court to sack Matawalle, defected Zamfara lawmakers. Seeks protection from removal from office for deputy governor. Demands Apex Court's approval to replace defectors. Names Lawan, Bajabia Miller, APC, INEC, others, defendants. Yes, the PDP is taking this matter very seriously, and the suit is supported by a 26-point affidavit deposed by the National Secretary of the PDP, Senator Umar Swari. So, we'll see legal fireworks at the Supreme Court, because I know the APC will respond in kind. Now, above the masthead of this day, OPEC Plus resolved impasse to boost production by 400,000 barrels per day. PIB will take care of host communities, secure environment, says Buhari. Yes, the OPEC Plus yesterday resolved to gradually add more inventory to oil market as Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates finally put aside their differences. Yes, you will say that should be more money to Nigeria, but if you look at Business Day newspaper, you will say that's not going to be the case. Massive oil theft to cost Nigeria 2.155 trillion naira in 2021. Now, according to the Business Day, going by the rate at which crude is being stolen from pipelines in the creeks of the Niger Delta, Nigeria might as well forget earning a kobo from oil this year. And the amount involved, of course, they have mentioned, but those involved, community leaders, security agents who are supposed to protect the pipelines, as well as, just a minute, yes, security personnel, illegal refiners, and smugglers are participating in the bulk of the stolen crude that finds their way to the Asian market. So, while the government is expecting so much revenue, a lot of theft is going on with security officers colluding, according to that report. Now, we move to other stories. The Punch newspaper, Buhari's aid, defense rejection. NBA orders say resolution illegal selfish, talking about e-transmission of results. The Senate listened to the Communications Commission, cited risk of hacking, says Ujudu. National Assembly has tied INEC hands, belittled Electoral Commission, says Nigerian Bar Association. Any legislation that whittles down INEC's independence unconstitutional, says a senior advocate of Nigeria in person of in person of Ifedayo Adedipe, senior advocate of Nigeria. Now, the Vanguard newspaper also on this story. Results transmission. We are not against INEC reps, says capacity issue is between NCC, INEC. PDP lawmakers asked Buhari to represent bill in September, accused reps leadership of inviting NCC director to lie to Nigerians, called for his prosecution for committing perjury. National Assembly only moving to rig 2023 election PANDEF, Ohaneze, ADF tackle National Assembly over rejection of electronic transmission. Riggers protecting their interests. Middle Belt Forum says, why we voted for e-transmission results with conditions. Lawan says some PDP senators also voted for it. Now, the New Telegraph newspaper also on this same story. Fear grips senators who voted against electronic transmission. Some issue statements saying they have nothing against it. Accuse opposition of trying to pit them against their constituents. Yes, they have questions to answer before their constituents. The Leadership newspaper, e-transmission of election results, CSOs, lawyers chide National Assembly for neglecting will of Nigerians. Now, the Guardian newspaper, Nigeria's The Guardian newspaper. High prices deprive faithful of Salah celebration amid declining inflation. Review import tariffs on inputs to check inflation, says Yusuf. Currency depreciation is disastrous for import-dependent economy. How to reduce inflationary pressure, says Owo. Well, talking about Salah, if what happened on the Lagos-Ibadan expressway yesterday seems to go by, where people are buying rams in droves. Now, for the whole of yesterday, from morning till night, that road, inward, outward, blocked because of people who were buying rams. So, we move over to other stories. Daily Trust newspaper, testing isolation centers shut in states despite imminent COVID-19 third wave. Federal government may apply segmented lockdown, PSC. FCT, 6 states on red alert. Why Nigeria is at risk. NCDC, suspend Doba committee advises emirs. Now the Daily Sun newspaper, Presidency knocks Bishop Kukah hard, cause priest disappointment for allegedly castigating Nigeria before foreigners. Yes, what Kukah said was that, yes, the security which this government promised, it has not been able to fulfill. And of course, the presidency, whenever Kukah speaks, I don't want to say when he sneezes, the presidency seems to react. Well, we just move on to other stories. The Abuja Inquirer, COVID-19 Delta variant, FCTA rolls out new guideline. Abuja parks, recreational grounds, stay closed. Now, the foreign newspapers quickly, of course, in the UK, the the Daily Telegraph first, the Daily Telegraph, Freedom Day fast as Prime Minister urged to end pandemic. Johnson faces calls to ease rules for double jab as he and Sunak have to self-isolate. But the Times of UK is talking about caution, be cautious, urges Prime Minister as COVID predicted to surge. Yes, scientific advisor warns of 200,000 daily cases. Poll reveal most voters, those who vote for this poll, don't back on locking. So many people are saying in the UK, it is too early to declare freedom. And if we just look at the Washington Post, quickly, journalists should be worried. Spyware used against journalists and activists. Efforts to infiltrate inner circle devices surround the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. Israeli firm's government client used phone hacking tool for surveillance far beyond terrorist criminals. Of course, this is an investigation by the Washington Post and its partners. Of course, the Guardian of UK also has that story. How over 50,000 lists from these Israeli firms being patronized by governments that are that are attempting to carry out surveillance on their citizens, and journalists happens to be part of the target. This is a military-grade spyware licensed by the Israeli firm used for tracking terrorists and criminals. And now there's this attempt to use it also on journalists. And of course, from the list of 50,000, 67 smartphones belonging to journalists, human rights activists, business executives, and 2 women close to Jamal Khashoggi, the Saudi journalist who was murdered in the Saudi embassy. Now, this is a threat to journalists. The other day, money voted for the NIA, 4.9 billion to carry out surveillance. But, well, Ruben, the Aso Villa, told us, you gave us a lecture, that not necessarily to spy on citizens. I hope that will continue to be the case. Ruben Rufai and Queen of the Screen, Adesuwa.
Well, maybe we should start with Bishop Kukah of the Catholic Diocese of Sokoto. Each time he speaks, government is jittery. But if you look at, what he said, there is nothing that Bishop Kukah has said that other people have not said. He's complaining about, infrastructure between Nigeria and Niger, whereas the government needs to do a lot more for the people. He's talking about, the government not doing enough with regard to security. He's talking about, the commitment of the present administration to issues of justice, rule of law, and fairness. And he also talked about what he observed to be the persecution of Christians in terms of how bandits tend to focus more on Christian schools. And Garuba Shehu characteristically has responded that he's unpatriotic to be saying all of this to outsiders. And Garuba Shehu surprised me. He was quoting the Bible, 2 major passages. He quoted from Romans and from Galatians. And I was waiting for you to come. That you are also a pastor in your own regard. I hope Garuba Shehu did not misquote the Bible.
Well, people refer to the Bible when it's used them sometimes.
Yes, but the important point...
The clergy man has said, like you rightly said, he has not said anything new, anything unusual. These are clear observations. Perhaps the annoyance is that he's made that statement before a foreign audience. But I don't see everybody have access to Nigerian media and information. So why?
But the big point is that, look, government should be tolerant of criticism. It's not always that when citizens criticize, that you can automatically accuse them of lack of patriotism. And, Bishop Kukah has shown that it cannot be, his mouth cannot be padlocked through any form of intimidation or the sudden conversion of Garuba Shehu into a preacher of the word, and that he has the courage to continue to express himself. So what we should encourage is this conversation, healthy conversation about our country, rather than people to see everybody that speaks up as an enemy. And then as for the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19, well, we are now in a festive period. People have been advised to take necessary precautions. If you have to pray in the neighborhood mosque. Don't go to a place where we will have a case of community spread. And government has said, well, about 6 states and the FCT are being monitored. They've been placed on red alert. Well, and my position is that it shouldn't just be those 6 states and the FCT. There should be the entire country on red alert. And then, of course, we need those vaccines that they promised. We were told the next batch of vaccines will come in July. When? In July. Thank you very much, Emmanuel Efene.